Hey everybody, this is Alicia Katz, Pollock from Royalwise.com, and this video is made specifically for all the attendees who were at Scaling New Heights 2023 in my Tell Me About It Advanced Reporting in QuickBooks Online course. We ran out of time because instead of sticking to my script, I decided to actually go ahead and answer your questions and work them in. So as a result, I didn't have time for everything that I had planned. And the one thing that I left off was the thing that many of you were there to see, which was Spreadsheet Sync. So I'm making this video for you today so that you can see all the rest of the content that I didn't get to cover. Now we are going to talk about Spreadsheet Sync. Spreadsheet Sync is one of the features in QuickBooks Online Advanced. It's only in Advanced. It's not in any of the other versions. And for some of you, this is the reason to upgrade. What it is an integration with Microsoft Excel. It does have to be the software version, but it doesn't matter if it's Mac or a PC. It doesn't work with the web version, but it doesn't matter. As long as you've got the app, you're good to go. What's nice is that you set it up one time and then it's there anytime that you need it. So you'll install the plugin the first time and then it will just wake up the rest of the times. What Spreadsheet Sync allows you to do is use your tools in Excel in order to manipulate your data in QuickBooks. And so in some cases, that's creating a live flowing reporting situation. In other cases, it actually allows you to update and make changes to your data in table form instead of going into every single transaction in order to make the edits. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you can use Spreadsheet Sync. So let's go ahead and take a look at how it works. So I'm going to go over to my QuickBooks, and this is a fake corporation, but I'm going to go up to the gear in the upper right-hand corner and then choose Spreadsheet Sync. So the first time that you use it, you would click the open link button and then tell it to trust the add-in, and then it would go ahead and install and implement the add-in. And then every time you use it after that, all you have to do is sign in. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's go. Now it wants to open up the app. And so I'm going to, normally I would click always allow apps.qbo.intuit.com to open links of this type. I'm going to go ahead and leave that off right now so that I can demo this the next time, but I will click on open Microsoft Excel.app. Now it will open up a spreadsheet that is always called Spreadsheet Sync, and it has a read only. And the first thing that it says to do is to launch the add-in. So we already saw the instructions that it gives you for the add-in. This is what it looks like when the add-in is already installed. So here it is right at the end of my home screen. So I'll click on that and it opens up a pane on the right-hand side. Let me go ahead and make that a little bit wider. And then I will sign in. So I am going to sign in using my regular account, and then I'll click sign in. And then it wants to know what the company is. And so I'll choose my main domain or my main realm. If I do install for your firm, then it actually does it for the my books or your books down on the left-hand side. But you could also install it for a specific client. So I'm just going to install it for my firm and I'll click next since my firm is QuickBooks Online Advanced. Just makes it a little easier. Okay, so now here are the things that you can do. You can run a report and then use all of Excel's functions to manipulate that report. You can add new data. You can edit existing data. You can run multi-company reports, and you can also manage budgets, which is new. I'm going to start with the multi-company reports. So basically what multi-company reports are a consolidated report, let's say a comparative P&L or a balance sheet, where you're pulling in data from multiple QuickBooks Online Advanced companies. And now this works best when your chart of accounts exactly mirrors each other, because then you'll have one account category and both numbers alongside it. In my case, I don't get the benefit of actually doing that. And so you're going to see that when you look at the list of accounts, some of the numbers are going to be in one and some are going to be in the other, but you get the idea that they would be the same. Now you can make a new group by going in and choosing what files or what companies you want to include in it. I already have an existing group, so this is a combination of my fake file and Hector's fake file for Garcia and Wild Style. And then I will select a report to run, and my choices are balance sheet and profit and loss report. Let's go ahead and I'm going to do a balance sheet. And then I will click select filters, and it wants to know, do I want to do cash and accrual? What date range do I want to use? Or I can manipulate the dates. I also have the ability to do comparative periods. In this case, I'm going to keep it really super simple, and I'm just going to do it for this year. I will do it accrual based. Now notice that there's an option here for use Excel customizations. And so here you can turn on some of Excel's defaults. Auto fit, meaning select the column width to display so that it doesn't get cut off. I like that one a lot. Freeze panes automatically so that you have your headers and your accounts down the left-hand side automatically without you having to do it. I do also want to show grid lines. Now I could allow it to auto outline and also allow filtering. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and turn them all on, and let's just go with that a net and see what happens. So I'll click OK on those. We're going to do this for, I'm actually going to go back and do a custom date range and do it from January 1st, 2022 from last year, just to make sure that I get enough data. Notice it is coming in European style. And now I will run the report. So I'll give it a moment to think. And so now you can see that we have a balance sheet. Let me go ahead and zoom in on it to make it a little easier to read. And you can see that we have freeze frames here. And here is the balance sheet for Hector's company. And here is the balance sheet for my company. And notice, like I said, that it's now grouped all of the chart of accounts together, but because the two company files have two separate charts of accounts, we're seeing that the numbers aren't comparable and we can't really compare. But in real life, typically, if you're trying to consolidate for two companies, you have the same chart of accounts in each one. So that's when this feature is going to work best. Now, one thing I didn't mention is that once you've been through all of the presets, there was a link there to save those settings as a preset so that you can use it again without having to start all over again. So you can see here that it's smart. Once you create this consolidated report, you can just go run it anytime and you don't have to set it up every single time. The second thing that you can do with Spreadsheet Sync is simply run reports, where you can create your reports right inside of Excel instead of exporting them and by building them in QuickBooks and then exporting them. This allows you to use their existing templates, or you can design your own. You can set any filters that you want. And the good news is that once you create and save the report, you can just open up the spreadsheet and then refresh it to pull in the new data. So it's really nice to be able to set it up one time and then forget it. Now we're ready to go ahead and run a report, and then it wants to know what company we're going to use. So I'll use my sample company for Royalwise and then select a report. And you notice here that it has all of the report categories that you see when you look at reports in QBO. Let's just keep it simple. I'm going to stick with a profit and loss report. So I'll click on that and then click select data to get. And I have all of my same filters. I can filter by the cash or accrual basis, classes, locations, customers, even items. So if I wanted to do a P&L for a specific item or a specific customer, I could. And then I will run that report, and it's going to go ahead and go get my P&L for me. And so the thing that's cool about this is it is live data and is a live connection. So I can save this file, open it later, and then refresh the data. So let's play with that. So notice home office rental. I'm going to go ahead and make a sales receipt for this month's rent. So up until now, it says 3664. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you can see that a little better. So this is the number that we're going to change. I'm going to head over to my QuickBooks and I'm going to make a new sales receipt, and I will make it, I'm just going to pick a random person, and we will do this for home office rental and rent the space for $1,000 and save and close. So you can see here in QuickBooks, it says 4664. And when I go over to Excel, and now I'll click the refresh button, and I'm going to refresh all my sheets. It'll think for a second, my organization, I'll go ahead and refresh that, and boom, there is the change. So you can see that I can now save this Excel spreadsheet, open it up, refresh the data, and I will always get current numbers. And that totally frees me up. I didn't take any time in here to go format it and make all those changes, but I absolutely could. So this is a really nice synchronization now between the two. The next feature in Spreadsheet Sync that I want to show you is that you can actually use it to do bulk updates to your lists. You can use it for your chart of accounts, your customers list, your vendors list, classes and location updates, and you can do it in invoices and bills, journal entries, estimates, and employee lists as well. So let's do the same thing. Now I'm going to go up and start another Spreadsheet Sync again. So I'm going to basically get a brand new workbook out of it and start the Spreadsheet Sync again because I closed it. At least this time it still remembers me. All right, so I am going to add and edit data. And I am going to work with my chart of accounts. And it wants to know what company I want to use. I'm going to stick to the same advanced sample company that I've been using. And then I'll click Sync to QuickBooks. And so this is now going to go get my chart of accounts information. Use my company. Okay, I'm going to click Use My Company Data. There we go. So I missed the step to click Use My Company Data. And there we go in my company data. I have used this to make categories and subcategories. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. Notice that we have our name of account, the account type, the detail type, and then over here where we have the sub-accounts. So this is particularly handy. This is where I've used it most, to take a whole bunch of categories and make them subcategories all at the same time. For example, when I am looking at my expenses, we have one here called Family Entertainment. And I don't want to call that Family Entertainment. I just want to call that Entertainment. So I will, let me actually show you over here first. So here's the Family Entertainment category, and I'm going to make that just Entertainment. And you can see here that I have all of these are subcategories of Family Entertainment. So I'm also going to make that change here. I should probably do this in one step instead of two. So actually, hang on a second. So I'm going to go to Entertainment, and then where this column here is where I'm telling it that I want to make the change. So I will change this to yes. And then when I tell it sync to QuickBooks and do I want to continue, it will now make that change for me. So it says done. When I come back over to QuickBooks and I refresh my screen, Family Entertainment is now going to become Entertainment. So that was just one simple example of what you can do with this, but you can make all kinds of changes. You can have default tax codes. Now that this has been changed, I want this to just be Entertainment. Now I know that it's automatically going to go ahead and update that one for me, but you can even add new categories if you want to. This is a great place to adjust all your numbers all at one time and create numbering systems. You can append new rows down at the bottom. The choices are really endless for what you can do with this feature. The last feature that I want to show you is so brand new that it wasn't even in my slide deck when I made this proposal, but you can manage and edit budgets and then save them to your QuickBooks as well. So I can create a new budget. I can edit an existing budget. Let's go ahead and create a new budget for the same company. And I'm going to call this SNH 2023 as the name of my budget. And I want this for the current fiscal year. And it's going to be a budget based on my profit and loss. You don't really get a choice on that. And we're not going to do it in consolidated budget. So I'll do set up budget. And so now it's going to load my data and create my list of chart of accounts for me. And now here's all the things that I need for my budget. Now this is really nice because now I can actually use other tabs in Excel and do calculations so that I can figure out what the budget needs to be and then add it in here to consolidate it. So now I want to actually build the budget, and the total budget is in a protected cell. So I'm not going to be doing that. What I am working on are these months. So if my auto mileage reimbursement, maybe it's $50 a month, and I can take that and spread it across using the autofill handle. And now it puts in the budget for the $600. Now for renting out our home office, it's $300 a month. Same deal. I can go ahead and I can fill this across. You can use your autofill handle. You can use any of the tools that you like using in Excel in order to do that. And so you get the idea. So I would go through, I would set up the whole entire budget and then click to sync to QuickBooks. And now it says that it's been posted successfully. So now I'll head over to my QuickBooks and go into the budgeting. And now I can see the Scaling New Heights SNH, and I can go ahead and open up that budget. And of course, I've only done a couple lines just to demo it, but here they are. Here are all those numbers for me ready to go. So for those of you who have extensive budgets outside of QuickBooks that you want to import them, this is a new tool that you can now use. So thank you for taking this tour of the new Spreadsheet Sync with me. My name's Alicia Katz Pollock. My website is Royalwise.com. If you enjoyed this video, let me know what you like about Spreadsheet Sync in the comments below, and I will see you in the next class.